I took my mother-in-law to every physical therapy appointment after her fall. Then she told my wife I'd forgotten to pick her up one day and left her outside. My wife believed her. I was told to apologize or leave. I left. But when I reviewed the clinic sign-in logs, I found something they didn't expect. I don't even know where to start because I still can't believe it actually happened. But I need to tell someone. Maybe if I write it out, I'll finally stop replaying every detail in my head. I've been married to Laura for 15 years. We met in our mid-20s, both working in the same hospital, me in IT, her as a nurse. We built a good life in Greensboro, North Carolina. We never had kids, by choice, and that gave us the freedom to travel, build careers, and focus on each other, or so I thought. Her mom, Beverly, has always been a presence. Overbearing, passive-aggressive, and just exhausting in that southern polite but cutting way. She never liked me, not really. Always had something to say about how I wasn't handy enough or how I probably wouldn't understand how hard women work. I let it go for years. Laura always defended her. That's just how she is. Then Beverly fell. She was trying to carry a laundry basket down the stairs and missed a step, shattered her hip. She was in the hospital for 2 weeks and then sent home in a walker with orders to start outpatient physical therapy 3 times a week. Laura couldn't do it. Her nursing shifts are 12 hours. So I said I'd drive Beverly. It wasn't even a discussion. I just offered. I work from home, and my boss is flexible. I figured I'd shift my schedule around and do what needed to be done. So for 3 months, I picked her up at 10:30 a.m. sharp, drove her across town to a therapy clinic about 20 minutes away, waited in the parking lot during her sessions. Brought her home every single time. Not once did she say thank you. Not once. Sometimes she'd complain the clinic was cold. Sometimes she'd make little comments. I see you finally shaved, or at least someone in this house knows how to be on time. I gritted my teeth. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself I was doing the right thing. But then came March 12th. It was a Wednesday. I did exactly what I always did. Picked her up, dropped her off, waited in the parking lot, scrolled on my phone, then drove her home. Later that night, I got home from grabbing groceries, and Laura was standing in the kitchen, arms crossed. That look on her face, the one she gets when she's already made up her mind. "Why didn't you pick up my mom today?" she asked. I laughed. Thought it was a joke. What? I did. She said she was left outside the clinic for over an hour, that she had to call a cab. I stopped breathing for a second. No. I was there. Just like always. Laura didn't blink. She said she was shivering. Said people walked by and no one helped her. You forgot her. I felt like I was in a dream. Laura. I was there. I picked her up just after noon. She walked out with her walker like always. She's not lying, Laura snapped. Why would she lie about that? I just stared at her. I didn't know what to say. I had nothing to hide. But in that moment, it didn't matter. My own wife had already chosen who she believed. She's been crying all night, Laura said. She said this isn't the first time you've been cold to her. I think you owe her an apology. I said, slowly. I'm not apologizing for something I didn't do. Laura folded her arms tighter. Then maybe you should go stay somewhere else until you're ready to talk like an adult. That was the last night I slept in my own bed. I packed a bag, grabbed my laptop, and drove to my younger brother's place. He offered me his guest room. I told him something happened with Laura's mom, but I couldn't get into it yet. For the next few days, I felt like I was walking through water. None of it made sense. Why would Beverly lie? What did she want? Just to hurt me or something more? Then I thought, what if I could prove it? I drove to the physical therapy clinic early that Saturday. I asked to speak to whoever handled patient records. A guy named Joel came out, said he was the office manager. I told him I was helping my mother-in-law double-check her visit times for a care plan we were reviewing. He didn't ask questions. Just handed me a clipboard with the sign-in sheets. There it was, March 12th, Beverly Hart sign in. 10:55 a.m. sign out. 12:06 p.m. pickup. Son-in-law, blue Ford. I almost laughed. I took a picture of the sheet, front and back, and thanked Joel. I sat in my car staring at the photo. I had proof. Cold, clear proof. She lied deliberately, and Laura took her side. But now I knew this wasn't just some petty lie. This was the beginning of something bigger, something I needed to stop before it went any further. I wasn't going back to that house until I had a plan. Because if Beverly wanted a war, she just picked the wrong man to lie about. I didn't rush back to the house after I found the lock sheet. I knew if I confronted them too early, I'd just get stonewalled again. Laura had already shown me where her loyalty stood, and Beverly was playing a long game. I needed to think. I needed to see how deep this really went. So I stayed away for another week. During that time, I didn't hear from Laura once. Not a call. Not a text. Nothing. 15 years married and she cut me off like I was nothing more than a hired driver who screwed up once. That silence said more than any argument could have. But I wasn't just sitting still. I went back to the clinic and asked Joel one more favor. I said I was worried there may have been other misunderstandings with my mother-in-law's appointments. He understood. I guess he'd seen families fall apart over care issues before. He let me take pictures of every sign-in and sign-out sheet from February and March. Across all 18 appointments, my name or a clear description of me was listed every single time. There was no confusion. I had been there every time. That Saturday, I emailed Laura. I kept it simple. I picked your mother up every single time, and the clinic logs prove it. I'm not coming home until we talk about why you believed her without even asking me. No reply. 3 days later, I got an email from Laura's cousin, Elise. She and I had always been on decent terms. She said she was sorry things had gone sideways, but she thought I should know. Beverly had been telling people for weeks that I was checked out, moody, and probably looking for a way out. She even told Elise that I'd called her a burden and once left her waiting in the cold as a message. That was a lie, a full-blown manufactured narrative, and Laura had swallowed it whole. Then the bank notification started. I had a joint checking account with Laura, but we mostly kept separate finances. Still, I logged in one afternoon to check something and noticed a $4,000 transfer had gone out of our shared account. I hadn't made it. It was a wire to Beverly. I froze. I texted Laura. Did you transfer money to your mom? 5 minutes later, she needed help with medical bills. You're not around, so I'm handling things. No discussion. No heads up. Just decided our money was hers to move. That same night, I got a call from a mutual friend, Mark. He said he heard I'd walked out on Beverly after leaving her stranded and that Laura was trying to pick up the pieces. The story had changed again. Now I was a cruel, unreliable husband who'd left his sick mother-in-law outside a clinic and stormed off when called out. They weren't just lying now, they were rewriting my entire character, and people were buying it. I sat on my brother's couch until 2 a.m. that night shaking. I wasn't just dealing with a petty lie anymore. This was a full-blown smear campaign. My marriage, my reputation, my peace of mind, it was all on the chopping block. And for what? I could have confronted Beverly directly, but she'd just doubled down. I could have screamed at Laura, but she was already convinced I was the villain. No. I needed to show them, both of them, what it felt like to be treated like you didn't matter. What it felt like to have your truth ignored, twisted, buried. If they wanted to play games with my name, my money, and my dignity, they were about to find out what I could do when I stopped being the good guy. And it started with a quiet visit to a lawyer. I met with the lawyer the next morning. Her name was Cynthia, recommended by a friend who went through a rough divorce a few years back. Cynthia was calm, clear, and sharp. After I laid out everything, Beverly's lie, the clinic logs, the money transfer, she leaned back in her chair and said, "This wasn't just a misunderstanding. This was a setup." She explained something I hadn't considered. If Laura and Beverly could paint me as neglectful or emotionally abusive, they'd have leverage in the court of public opinion. in our social circles, maybe even in divorce court for $1,000 pulled behind your back, she said. She's testing the waters. If you don't react, she'll take more. Cynthia helped me file a financial protection motion to freeze the joint account. We couldn't close it immediately, but we could stop any more withdrawals. I also pulled my name off the utilities and changed the passwords on everything that was mine. That same afternoon, I went back to the clinic one more time. Joel, the office manager, had started giving me looks like he was worried. I told him the truth this time. I told him my wife believed a lie, and I needed help proving it. He surprised me. I had a weird feeling about her, he said. Your mother-in-law, she always acted like she wanted everyone to notice her. One time she faked a cough so bad, we almost called an ambulance. He pulled something from the drawer. Security camera stills. Each week, they take a shot of patient exits, just for liability reasons. Joel handed me printouts from 4 different days. In every one of them, there I was, standing at the curb, door open, waiting for Beverly. One of them, from March 12th, clearly showed her walking out and me holding her walker while she stepped into the car. I stared at that image for a long time. It was like seeing the truth in black and white. I made copies. Then, I went home. Laura was there. She looked surprised when she opened the door. I hadn't told her I was coming. I need to talk, I said. She didn't move. Did you come to apologize? That hit me harder than I expected. She still thought that was the issue. That I owed her or her mother anything. No, I said and handed her the photo. That's from the clinic. The same day your mom said I left her. She looked at it. Her face didn't change. She said you were late. I handed her the clinic sign-out logs next. 12:06 p.m., picked up by me. Right on time. Every single appointment. I never missed one. She didn't say a word. Just stared at the papers. Then she whispered something I'll never forget. She said you were trying to make her feel like a burden, that you didn't want that line hit harder than any accusation so far. She said you were trying to make her feel like a burden, that you didn't want to be around her, that you were cruel behind my back. I didn't say anything right away. I just stood there holding the proof, hearing those words, trying to understand how someone could twist reality that far and still be believed. And worse, how my wife could believe it so easily. You really think I would do that to her? I finally asked. Laura didn't answer. I changed my work schedule. Sat in that damn parking lot 3 days a week for her. Never once asked for anything. I put up with her comments, her moods, her silence, and now you're telling me that is cruelty. Laura turned away. You've been distant for a while. I've been exhausted. I've been doing everything. You've been at work 12 hours a day, and when you get home, you don't even ask how I'm doing. Everything's about your mother. She turned back, angry now. She needed help. I gave it. I said louder than I meant to. I gave everything and it still wasn't enough. She wanted me gone, Laura. Don't you see that? This was never about me forgetting her. This was about getting me out of this house. Then she said it. I think maybe she was scared of being alone with you. That stopped me cold. It was the first time Laura didn't just repeat a lie, she escalated it. From he forgot me to maybe he's dangerous. I want you to leave, she said, not looking at me. No, I said. You don't get to kick me out of my own house based on lies. Not again. She walked down the hall, shaking her head. We'll talk when you're calm. But I wasn't done. Not anymore. Because this wasn't just about defending myself. It was about what came next. The next morning, I met with Cynthia again and told her everything. She said it was time to prepare for the possibility of divorce and not just a quiet one. That's when she dropped the next bombshell. Have you checked your credit lately? I hadn't. I pulled up my report right there in our office. 2 months ago, someone had co-signed Beverly for a personal loan under my name. My credit had been used illegally. And the listed co-signer email. Loris. Cynthia looked at me like she'd seen this exact move before. They've been planning something for a while, she said. This isn't just manipulation. This is financial fraud. That's when I knew I wasn't just dealing with liars. I was dealing with people who were slowly, deliberately trying to erase me. They thought I wouldn't fight back. But now I had everything I needed to expose them for who they really were. I filed the fraud report that afternoon. Cynthia helped me submit everything: credit report screenshots, copies of the fake loan, the email trail tied to Laura, and Beverly's name on the loan agreement. A week later, the bank confirmed what we already knew. My name had been used without my consent. I had a police report, and Beverly was officially under investigation for identity theft and wire fraud. Laura had some involvement too. At minimum, she accessed my credit and moved joint funds without permission. Still, I didn't want to destroy everything. Not yet. I wanted truth first. I wanted them both to sit in the truth they'd built their lies to bury. I set up a meeting with Laura at the house. She thought we were just gonna talk. I brought everything. Printouts of the loan, copies of the clinic logs, photos from the security footage, the fraud report, the frozen account notice. I laid them all out on the kitchen table. She sat there silent, cold, until she saw her email on the loan document. Then she panicked. That's not what it looks like. No, I said. It's exactly what it looks like. I didn't think they'd approve it, she said, suddenly crying. She said she just needed help. She promised it wouldn't go through. She said you wouldn't even notice. She's not the only one who lied, I said. You believed her when she said I left her. You believed her when she said I was cruel. You moved money behind my back. You helped her steal my identity. And now you're sitting here acting like it just happened. She couldn't answer. I'm filing for divorce, I told her. You can stay here with your mother, but I'm getting my name off everything. The lawyer already started. The next day, I emailed the clinic staff, including Joel, and thanked them for their help. I sent them a final scan of all the evidence in case the investigators needed it. Joel replied, "Glad we could help. We see a lot in this job, but that one still makes me sick." That was when I made the final move. I sent the same package of evidence to every single person Laura and Beverly had lied to. Elise, Mark, Laura's friends, neighbors, even Beverly's church circle. I didn't embellish anything. I just sent the documents, the photos, and a short note. You heard one version. Here's the truth. Then I disappeared. I moved out completely within 2 weeks. I stayed at my brother's for a bit, then found a small place on the other side of town. Quiet. Clean. No voices whispering lies behind closed doors. It took 3 months for the charges to go through. Beverly was arrested and charged with identity theft and fraud. The loan company dropped the co-signer debt from my record. Laura was never formally charged, but her nursing license went under review for ethical violations. I don't know if she kept it. I don't care. The divorce was finalized 6 months later. No alimony. No settlement. I got my name, my accounts, and my life back. As for Beverly, she ended up back in the hospital for another fall. This time, Laura had to take care of her alone. No one else stepped up. I used to wonder what I could have done differently, but now I don't, because I know exactly who I was. The men who showed up every single time. The one they tried to break with a lie. And now, they're the ones everyone stopped believing. If you enjoyed the story and want to hear more just like it, don't forget to like the video, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more stories. Your support helps these stories reach more people, and trust me, the next one, it's even wilder.